Chapter 1. The Directive System. What comprises all of the department's authorized written directives? The Directive System. What is a written document used to guide or affect the performance or conduct of agency employees? The term includes the DM, standard operating procedures, policies, procedures, rules, regulations, general orders, special orders, memorandums, and instructional material. A written directive. What is a written document used to guide or affect the performance or conduct of departmental employees? Departmental Directive. What is a written directive issued by a commander other than the director? A subordinate directive. What is the introductory page within a standard operating procedure used for departmental elements with the signature of the element commander? The authentication page. What are general principles and values which guide the performance of a departmental activity? Policies. What is a method of performing an operation or proceeding on a course of action? A procedure. What is a specific prohibition or requirement which is stated to prevent deviations from policy or procedure? A rule. What is a desired end which, if attained, will fulfill the purposes of the department? An objective. What is defined as the singular includes the plural and the plural includes the singular? The plurality of words. What is a temporary location in the field established for an incident which requires more than usual supervision to coordinate operations? A command post. What is a written directive which follows standard outline organization? A standard operating procedure. What furnishes additional detail not suitable for text within a standard operating procedure, such as charts, forms, or pictures? The annexes. What contains information necessary to amplify annex contents and are numbered sequentially beginning with Arabic numeral 1? The appendices. Relating to departmental directives, who can issue, modify, or approve the departmental manual? Only the director, someone acting in the director's capacity, or the director's designee. Who may issue a subordinate directive? Any commander of an element. A subordinate directive issued by the commander of an element affects which personnel? Only employees of that element. Every element shall have subordinate directives in what format? In standard operating procedure formatting. Which elements are not required to have subordinate directives as previously mentioned? The North and South Operations Division District Stations. Who can exempt the NOD and SOD district stations from utilizing the police services standard operating procedure? The director. The standard operating procedures of an element shall be submitted to which entity for CALIA compliance? The PCB. Written directives are in effect until the material is incorporated into the respective element's standard operating procedures, if they are rescinded, or if what other action occurs. If they are superseded. How often does the PLB review departmental directive memorandums for disposition? On a continual basis. What does the PLB provide to the director to discontinue directives or include them into the departmental manual? A recommendation. How often will district commanders review their respective districts' directive memorandums to determine if they are still valid? Annually. Following an annual disposition review of subordinate directives, commanders must do what in order for their standard operating procedures to remain in effect? The element's standard operating procedures must be re-authenticated. While authoring recommendation revisions for the departmental manual, how will the new or modified text be indicated? By underlining the text. DM revisions will be forwarded to what entity for its review of legal sufficiency? The PLB. What entity is responsible for posting departmental directives and DM revisions on the Power DM suite? The PLB. What entity will ensure that each employee within an element acknowledges receipt, reviews and electronically signs the applicable departmental directives and DM revision directives via Power DMs? Element commanders and supervisors. Each employee must acknowledge receipt and review any new or revised DM directives online through the Power DMs within how many working days of issuance? Within 5 working days. In what 2 manners will supervisors ensure compliance with new or revised directives by providing subordinates the opportunity to review and discuss the new rules, procedures, or orders? Through roll call or on-the-job training. What entity has the authority to determine which departmental directives applies to employees of the School Crossing Guard program? The Public Information and Education Bureau Major. Employees are responsible and accountable for compliance with Florida statutes. Where can the Florida statutes be located? www.myflorida.com. Where can the Miami-Dade County Home Rule Charter be located? The official MDC website. Where can the Police Services Standard Operating Procedures be located? Within the MDPD intranet web portal. Where can the CALIA Standards for Law Enforcement Agencies manual be located? The PCB. How often are an element's standard operating procedures submitted to the PCB for accreditation compliance verification? At least annually. Upon assuming command of a North or South Operations Division's district station, commanders shall review subordinate directive memorandums, as stated above, and will issue a subordinate directive memorandum stating what? Whether existing subordinate directives are re-authenticated or rescinded. How often will commanders and supervisors of elements that have issued subordinate directives perform a disposition review of those directives? At least annually. How often after the completion of a disposition review must subordinate directives that are still valid be incorporated into the element's standard operating procedure? On an annual basis, at a minimum.